know what I have done since we last talked?
Yeah.
So I went to go see Top Gun in theaters.
Oh, is it good?
It's fantastic.
Nice. Yeah.
It's because they got the actors into planes and just flew them around.
Yeah.
Just flew them around in planes.
Tom, he fucking loves his stunts. He loves his stunt work. And
Yeah.
what? It's made like $1 billion already?
Maybe.
Yeah. Fucking great.
How we doing now?
You sound like
Much better.
you sound like I'm sober. There you go.
Yeah.
All right,
much
great.
better.
It's Discord then.
Okay.
But that sounds like we're better now, and better is good.
Yeah.
And Craig is recording. Great. How are you guys? What's up? Been a month. What happened?
My cat moved in, and my second cat, and she's acclimating decently. And I've played a lot of video games, and I went to see Top Gun in theaters. And I'm going camping in a couple of days, assuming I don't have COVID, which is possibly more news. We will find out in a couple of days.
God, the excitement. It's off the charts.
Mm-hmm.
But let's talk about Top Gun first, because that movie fucking rules.
Nice.
It whips absolute ass.
It was so good.
It's pretty much all practical. Very little to no CGI at any point. Just actual planes ripping around, tearing shit up, making actors sick, putting them in danger. I listened to somebody talk about it, and they're like, the thing that really ramps up the tension for you is that when you're watching this movie, there's a part of your brain that's like, oh, they might die. It's just like that. That's a real sense of danger.
Yeah, it feels very real.
It's fucking crazy.
I was just watching Mission Impossible 2 today, and that cliff climbing scene from the very start, it still fucking makes my palms sweat. It's wild.
Yeah.
That's the best part of that movie, in my opinion.
Yeah, it is. It is the best part of that movie.
They get better.
I do still
get
like the
better.
stupid part of MI2 where they ride the motorcycles toward each other and then jump off.
Oh,
and do
I was
the
thinking
sweet
of that
John
too.
Woo.
Man, that
Yeah.
stuff is sick. I love it. Like, well, you don't come to Mission Impossible for incredible, realistic storytelling.
No,
And that's a good
Jesus.
example.
No.
They're
You don't
still
want that.
doing the rubber mask thing.
Yeah, like, man, that's good shit. That's good shit.
Haha! And this mask was a mask.
Oh man, I think they hit the mask spot 6 times in the second one. I think I counted.
Yeah,
Oh, at least.
Yeah,
but they keep doing it. We
keep
just
doing it,
watched
yeah.
Mission Impossible 6, and they
Yeah.
keep fucking doing it.
But like you were saying, they keep getting better, right?
They do.
They
do.
really do. I don't know, Tom Cruise, man, like weird dude, but he just makes good movies.
He knows what's up. He
Yeah.
knows how to entertain an audience, and that's all I care about.
Yeah,
That's all. That's basically all he knows how to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are plenty of places in Top Gun where I was like 100% sure I knew what was going to happen, and that's exactly what happened, and I did not care because it was that fucking fun.
Yeah.
Particularly like when they're pulling mega G's and you can see their faces going into their shoes, and you're like, yep, they actually did that. You can't CG that.
Nope. They just tormented some actors for a little while.
Bet those pilots just loved it.
Oh God, highlighted their fucking year.
Yeah.
Make these actors barf.
Yeah, I'm sure they did. I'm sure they
everywhere.
fucking did.
Just painted the inside of those planes.
Yeah.
Anyways,
So
video games.
Holy fucking God, do we have a lot to talk about? Well, I have a lot to talk about, and also we do, because I was cooking up my list of like, what are the things I've covered? And the list is long.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw that. Where do you want to start? Because I think you probably should go first.
Yeah. And second and third.
I'm gonna start with
Potentially
this guy.
Nice.
Okay. Ooh.
Okay. This is a cloud and mobile gaming controller. So you just you just pop your phone in there, and
Ooh.
you can use it for remote play for the Xbox or like actual phone games if you're nasty. But good news is that remote play rules, and you can just fire up whatever you want, and it runs exactly like it does on the Series X. So it's just like, yeah, it runs like a fucking dream. Problem is that in order to run a tether like that from your system to a phone to a controller, there's a tiny bit of input lag.
Yeah.
Which when you're playing like Forza, for example, Forza Horizon 5 is
It's a deal breaker.
Immediately no sale. Like you simply can't. You're like there's games you can play with this and there's games you cannot. And it is a hard line. Like it's basically like learning how to use the system all over again because suddenly the way you do inputs and steering, because like I don't know about you guys, but when I'm steering in Horizon 5, it's a lot of like very careful tiny little movements with the stick.
Yeah.
And you have to fucking fully recalibrate from scratch how that works in a racing game. So those are just like off the table. And that's just like remote play. That's not like this device. Like this says nothing about this. I actually plugged a controller directly into the phone because you can do that. It's actually not that hard. And same problem.
Yeah.
It's just a weakness of remote play. There's just something they can't quite get around, which is, to be fair, an industry-wide issue that I don't think anybody's solved yet. But
I don't know that they're even going to get there. I mean, they've been working on that xCloud thing forever, and it's still a problem. In the same way, and same with Stadia. If anybody still plays that thing,
but
it's just inherent. But choose the right games, and it's great. It's outstanding.
I've been replaying Stardew Valley portable, stuff so like that's cool.
Good choice.
That works
anything
pretty well.
like turn-based has got to be great.
Anything turn-based is fine. Any games where you're like, no, this is chill. This is fine. I can do this. Like, I could play Crusader Kings 3 on my phone if I so desired. I could just do that, and that's pretty cool.
Get out your fucking telescope to read the text, though.
Yeah, actually got a honking ass tablet. Well, a bigger one, right? And I might see how the connection runs on that thing. Because the tablet is barely on the ragged edge of functionality. So I'm curious as to how it would run a remote play connection if it was just like So yeah.
I was stunned when like Xbox was first showing off that the remote play and xCloud stuff. I was at some Xbox thing a few years ago, and the game they chose to show it off with was Master Chief Collection.
Oh.
And people were immediately coming up to this and taking like 8 steps and going, no, you can't do this. Why did you pick this? What are you doing?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Pick, a turn-based strategy game, or even a real-time strategy game. You could do that.
Yeah.
Or like you can kind of do platformers, but like because there's still that learning curve to figure out what the new response is. But like for me, it was like a little bit easier. You could kind of make it work, but like some like first-person shooters, racers, but like oh, I don't know, man.
Yeah, anything precise, it's a no-go.
Yeah.
Would work really well with Flight Simulator though, and that's one of the things I played with the Top Gun DLC in Flight Simulator, which lets you just do Flight Simulator but in an F-18.
Sick.
So does Tom Cruise make any appearance?
There's no Tom Cruise stuff, but there are some missions and stuff, very low level flying and very similar to the stuff that's in the movie. I'll tell you what, the game's a lot better flying around in an F-18 when you can turn on the afterburners and just go straight up if you want.
Yeah.
Do some spins.
Did they add the Top Gun theme into the game? Can you listen to that as you fly around?
No, it's still the lame ass Flight Simulator music.
Okay.
But
still take what you can get.
You can you can pipe in your own Kenny logins if you need, and you need to.
That is true. Spotify now $9.99 a month. You can pipe in that logins at any time.
Well worth it.
Yeah.
I'd pay $9.99 every time to play the song.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not mad at that.
Yeah.
Anyway, James, you're saying you played lots of games, so get in there.
Let's pick a lowball one. Sonic Origins. Does
it suck?
It's fine. I mean, I heard a lot of complaints about it running really buggy, but like I had a PS5 code, so I didn't really get that. It just sort of ran. Here's the thing about the Sonic Origins collection. You, for the most part, have played these games. For the most part, you play them a lot. Like, you've played Sonic 1 and 2. Jesus Christ, have you ever played Sonic 1 and 2? I personally have purchased, even sometimes without even meaning to, Sonic 1 and 2, like 5 different times over the years, just because it was part of other collections. And it's like, them throwing that in a collection in 2022 feels like a dick waggling move. Like they're just like, yeah, guess what we can get away with, fuckers. You're gonna take it like it. Yeah. You know, because like we bought this, we've played this, we own this, we know this. But Sonic 3 and Knuckles hasn't been on collections in a while because of like licensing issues. Because the music was like done by Michael Jackson, and like it was actually kind of hard to like, it's a whole thing. Yes, some of the tracks for Sonic 3 and Knuckles were done by Michael Jackson, or he had like writing credits on it, even though it's not like public knowledge. One of the like guys, the Sonic guys, the original team guys, like basically came out and confirmed this like long-standing fan theory in a tweet not too long ago. And it was just like, oh yeah, they had to record new tracks for Sonic 3 and Knuckles, like replacements for the tracks that he'd done, so that they could like put the game in a collection again, because it hasn't shown up in a collection since like before 2011, I think. And Sonic CD whips ass, and like any opportunity to get more people to play that game, totally worth it. But like, yeah, it's a great collection. I don't know if it's worth what they're asking for it, for what you're getting, but you do get like, you know, anniversary mode, which takes away the lives system, so you can just like try stages over and over again until you succeed, not worry about game overing into oblivion, which is how all classic 2D Sonic games should be played. Even Mania, especially Mania, you fucking monsters. But yeah, it's a great collection. Is it worth the money? I don't know, but like all the games play well, and they're in like the proper aspect ratios, and they look great, and they feel great, and they sound good. You know, I never had any problems with it on PS5. I don't know what consoles had the bugs, but I'm sure they've been patched out by this point. So, yeah, like if you've never played Sonic 3 or Sonic CD, you should fucking get this collection, because those are two pretty goddamn good Sonic games. Sonic CD, I will proselytize about to anybody who fucking listens. It's like the platonic ideal of what a 2D Sonic game should be. Like, probably, I like it more than Mania, I would say, actually.
Sonic CD sums up Sega's existence in a very nice, concise way. You know, they made the best Sonic game they ever made, and they put it on a platform that no one owned.
Yeah.
Sure. And they failed.
I think my grandfather had one of those.
R.I.P. the Dreamcast.
Oh, yeah.
Gone too soon.
But yeah, Sonic CD, best game. Pick up the collection if you haven't played it, or if you've never played Sonic 3, because like I imagine there's lots of people who haven't, because it just wasn't on collections for a long time. And you can play as Knuckles in most of the games, I think, except for Sonic CD. I think you can play as Knuckles in the other 3 games.
The next time the collections come around, they're gonna stuff Shadow the Hedgehog into all those games, and you'll just be blasting fools with your Deagle.
Nice.
Right?
That would whip ass. Just like completely, just like a fun bonus mode that like completely breaks the game. Where it's like, oh yeah, every boss, it turns out, huge vulnerability to 50 caliber bullets. Who knew, right? Like,
First level in Sonic 2, you just blow tails out of the sky. Just blow them away.
pop, pop. Yeah,
I'd play that.
yeah, I would too.
So I'm assuming that's the lowest of the low games that you played.
Yeah.
What was one rung better than that?
I think next up on the list is going to be. Well, let's check to make sure actually, because there's a lot of them. Yeah, you know what? Live Alive. I'm reviewing it right now. I can tell you some preview thoughts because I think the
Okay.
preview embargo drops when right around this episode does, like the 6th or the 7th. So I will say that I'm playing it. I have started. I can tell you stuff about like the demo chapters and whatnot for sure. It's
Some non-final preview impressions.
yes, not final preview impressions. If you've ever played any of Square's other games that have like any of the Saga games that had like 8 different characters kind of interact, like telling separate stories, it's kind of like that, but set on Earth, like just Earth. Like there's one that's like the Wild West, where you're just like shooting regular guns, and like there's like a Edo Japan one. There's like a Imperial China, and they all just feel different gameplay wise. Like everything feels very different from everything else. It's actually kind of like it reminds me of Octopath Traveler. You can tell there's like seeds of that game that made it to Octopath, because like everybody has like some weird power they can use with the Y button that like is completely different. Like one dude reads minds, one person can like go pure invisible stealth mode. It's like the most broken stealth I've ever seen, to the point where like if an enemy is like 4 feet away and running towards you and you throw up this stealth cloak, they're like, what happened, where'd he go? It's just like, what just like completely flabbergasted by this stealth. Some of them don't. Like some of them, like not everybody does, but lots of people do. Some people are just like shit kickers. Like they're just like, I'm here to fight and that's it. Like one of the sequences is like designed like a fighting game. Like the whole first chapter, there's no like, you don't explore or like walk around or talk to people. You just get like the fighter select screen and you pick your opponents, and like you
Nice.
don't gain experience, but you do learn moves. It's very weird. So there's a lot of different systems to juggle, and there's a lot of different things to figure out. And you can kind of soft lock yourself a little bit, which I don't love.
Okay. So
There's definitely yeah,
you gotta be on your toes.
there's definitely a couple of chapters, character chapters, that I'm like, I'm probably just gonna start over, because I didn't take this seriously enough, and now I'm stuck in a boss fight I can't win. So just go back and level grind. Like I'll just start again, right? And like, because they just give you that option. It's like play this chapter over from the beginning. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna have to, just so I can like, just so I can like level grind and like get resources, and come to this fight a little more prepared. Because
Do they
like,
do anything to like sanitize that for modern sensibilities? Like all the pixel remaster Final Fantasy games gave, a bunch of shops in places that there weren't shops, or recovery potions in places where there weren't recovery potions.
um, I don't know, because this game has never come stateside officially before. Like it's
True.
never been to North America before this, and
I
that
I mean, I did
definitely makes a
figure if
difference.
if anybody among us had played the Japanese version and muddled through the kanji, it would be you.
To be perfectly honest, I've never had a good experience playing a Saga game, so this absolutely missed me. Like it's just like
Okay.
and so
What the
far it's the
fuck?
most fun I've had playing a Saga game, with the
Oh.
exception of Octopath Traveler, which to me is again the perfect version of that formula.
Mhm.
Because the characters interact.
Yeah.
I like it.
Actually,
I like a good kanji. Well, like, why can't I fucking be that guy?
well, you could be, but you're not, unless there's something very important you're withholding about yourself from us.
I don't even know what that is. I'm sorry. Go on.
Okay.
Kanji
Okay.
are Japanese characters, like
Yeah.
the writing characters.
It's their alphabet, basically.
Oh,
Yeah.
I gotcha.
You could be a kanji guy, Rhett.
Right? Well, I mean, you got to
Report
start
back next week.
somewhere. You got to
Yeah.
start somewhere. Yeah.
I will say that they can make pretty much every game look like this if they want. Uh,
Oh, yeah, it's
yeah,
beautiful. I love it. Visually, the game is a treat so far. Everything looks beautiful. Everything looks goddamn lovely. I just like if you get throw down with like the 2D HD style, this will absolutely you will love that shit.
Mm.
So points, plot points. Following 4 chapters. Huh.
I love that you're reading the embargo right now.
I am reading the embargo right now because I thought it'd be fine. Might have to do a little editing. I don't know.
Sometimes it's not fine.
I've played a little bit of this myself, actually. I downloaded the demo.
Ooh.
And, I mean, I really don't have anything to say that James hasn't said already. But it is very nice to look at. And I look forward to seeing James's review. I want to see what everybody has got this scored at. I'm
Yeah.
curious.
Yeah. I'll forward the embargo because there might be a couple of things that I mentioned that I actually can't.
Okay, we'll do our best. So good thing this isn't live.
That's right. Good thing this isn't live. Brett, have you played anything last month?
Okay, so I've been playing a lot of Gran Turismo 7, and I
Okay.
want to talk to Paul especially about this because I know the last time that you left off with this game, you weren't exactly impressed.
Correct.
They've fixed everything. They did a complete 180. They took a step back, reassessed, understood that their game was setting records for a first-party Sony game and how bad it was being reviewed like it was horrible.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to make a quick update. Shout Gran Turismo 7 out because they've completely done a 180. Payouts are great now. You can make money quickly. They're adding vehicles to the game. They're adding tracks to the game. Yeah, I mean, really, I feel like they went through like a Reddit list of everything that people were upset with, and one by one, they've started to tick these things off and amend, the issues with the game, right their wrongs. Like they've been giving credits out to people. One of the biggest things that they've improved is the roulette, the tickets that you get. Before it was like I don't think I had ever seen a reward above like the lowest tier, maybe the second lowest tier.
Mhm.
But now it's like routinely, if you complete your driving marathon for the day, you'll get a ticket that will give you 6 figures.
Ooh. Okay.
It's nice. Yeah, it's nice. Like they've improved things a lot. They've got a lot of cool like old cars in there too, like 19. They've got this 1920 Ford right now. It's not. I think it's from 1928. I'd have to go in and look at it, but yeah, it's this old school Ford that they've got. Super sick. They're basically giving it away. Things like that. They're clearly gearing the game more towards what people want or what people were expecting out of Gran Turismo, I guess I should say. And it's nice. Yeah. Just a quick update there. If y'all have been hesitant to get in there because you've heard the bad press, It's much better now.
Well, it's the second best they could have done behind just not doing that in the first place. But I'm glad they have backpedaled. And
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully at least a few people will update their user scores from those zeros and ones out of tens. But probably unlikely. It is the internet after all.
Yeah.
Yeah, user scores are basically carved into concrete, man. You don't want to do that.
No.
Yeah, you gotta be principled enough to stick with it too.
Mm-hmm.
Even if your opinion does turn around, it's a pretty good game now. You still gotta flame the shit out of them on the internet.
You can't let them forget, you know?
That's right.
Because if you let them forget, then they'll just do it again.
Yeah, can't have that. Those fuckers, so on and so forth, yada, yada, yada. Blah,
What
blah,
is
blah.
forgiveness anyway? You know?
Highly overrated.
I don't know.
Highly overrated. I like that. I mean, I don't like that. I really, really don't like that. But hey, you do you.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm merely reporting on the general state of the internet hive mind. I am basically a Buddhist monk when it comes to the act of forgiveness, but I understand that this is not the way that the larger world tends to work. Which, like you, I would prefer it for otherwise, but you dance with the one that brung you. So
We do have to live with ourselves quite a bit in this industry anyway, given that review scores never change.
that's right. That's right. And certain things like being rookered by a fucking review event just stick with you forever. That's just a little indelible mark that you just get to have on your person for the rest of your life. Isn't that great?
Wow, what's this? What's this you speak of?
Oh, Rhett, surely you jest. I've told the harrowing tale of Star Wars Battlefront 2 no less than half a dozen times in your presence.
Gotcha.
Those fucking snakes.
If you missed any of those episodes, go back and listen. There's quite a few pretty good rants about Battlefront 2.
Yeah.
Which seemed to be a great game and then was not.
No, no, it was not.
The wool was pulled over eyes. The swindling was committed. It's too bad. I really wanted to like that game.
Oh, we all did.
Anyways, James, speaking of games that you wanted to like, are there any games that you did in fact like?
I got two more on my list, I believe, that I covered.
Hmm?
Well, I'm sorry, 3. Jesus Christ.
Busy man.
Yeah, I did a preview for Cult of the Lamb. Oh, dude, I'm so excited for this game. That's gonna be so good.
Okay.
Okay.
He says as he Googles the game very quickly.
So it's a Devolver Digital title where you play a sacrificial lamb who is rescued from death at the last moment by a horrifying god who's like, listen, I want to come back in a big way. And the prophecy says that a lamb has to do it. And you're the last one. And they kind of just chopped your head off. So we're going to do a little creative editing. You're going to come back and you're going to spread the word of me and allow me to rise from the deeps. And man, it's fucking cool. It's like a combination of like a management sim and like a roguelike. So you build a cult with followers and little cult buildings and artifices and like all sorts of little components, like building a little town. And then the other half of the time is spent going out into the dungeons, defeating bosses, killing enemies, acquiring resources, and like doing these randomized runs. And it's cool because if you're like, man, I feel really stuck, or I don't really want to do another run, you could just like hang back in the city management section and just like deal with your cult followers. You know, make sure that they're feeling happy, make sure they're fed, make sure they're being put to work, make sure that if one of them is being a huge piece of shit, you can sacrifice them to the dark god and maybe in exchange for some money or resources or, you know, fear, so that your people fear you. They're terrified that they might be next, and maybe they won't talk so much shit next time.
Devolver put out such a high density of really, really good stuff.
I don't know.
Ridiculous. Whoever's in charge of signing devs and pulling in projects at Devolver, big raise.
Yeah,
Or
remarkably
zero-
high success rate.
Yeah, they're basically zero failures.
Yeah.
Some are better than others, obviously,
Yeah.
but they're all pretty good.
Yeah.
What the fuck do they make?
Hotline Miami. Heard of that one?
Okay. Yeah, how have I heard of that? Oh yeah.
Yeah, every game that's kind of like that between when that came out and now, probably a Devolver game.
Probably Devolver. Okay.
Yeah. If it's like a side scrolling or a top down, or they got the Serious Sam license. So they're those guys.
Mhm.
They
Did they
My
make
friend
those-
Pedro.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Inscription. That was them too.
Mhm.
Wow, Inscription was them. Oh
yeah.
fuck. That's money.
They did the Shadow Warrior, the one, right, with the swords and the guns and the goofy sense of humor.
I know what you're talking about. I have not played that one.
Yeah.
Shadow
Hold on as I pull up a list here. Ollie Ollie
Yep.
Ollie Ollie.
is theirs. Luft Trousers. Not a Hero. Downwell. Enter the Gungeon.
Oh yeah.
Serious Sam, like was mentioned. Talos Principle. Genital Jousting.
General what?
Yeah, General Jousting.
The Red Strings Club, which I know you have a particular affinity for, James.
That was a fucking great game.
The Messenger.
Yeah. That's
Gris. Katana Zero. Ape
Katana
Out.
Zero. Yeah, Katana Zero is a good one.
Piku Niku.
Fuck is that?
Yeah, they're a fantastic publisher.
Yeah, so like you said, no misses, all hits.
Yeah,
Looking forward to
much.
this one.
Pretty much.
Looking
I
forward
skipped
to
about
this one.
95% of the games they've put out, by the way. But
Yeah, so Call of the Lamb coming out August 11th, and it's gonna whip ass. I don't know.
Cool.
is that just a PC joint, or is that coming to Switch?
I-
Because that seems like a Switch game and a half.
It does. I think it is coming to consoles. Don't quote me in that because I don't remember.
I mean, punch it into your Google machine as if you won't find that in 2 seconds.
Look at me doing it. Look at me doing it right now. Call to the Lamb. Coming to Switch, coming to PS4, coming to Xbox.
Great. Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
So-
well, there's one good game.
Yeah.
Maybe we can give you a brief little break. I could talk about the one thing I've played, which is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge.
Hell yes!
Just as amazing as I hoped it would be.
Let's
The
play
minute
it.
that intro fires up, the 1987 classic joint, reimagined, reanimated. Oh, I knew it was just going to be a thrill ride. There's just enough nostalgia points or things that are reminiscent of the original arcade games or any of the subsequent arcade games. But it's just new enough and plays just differently enough that you're compelled to keep playing it. And you want to play through it with every character because they're all very different now.
They are.
A little sad that my man Donatello is slow as fuck, but
Donatello? Is that the purple guy?
Yeah.
Oh
with the stick.
my god. I'm surprised he's even in the game. But hey, we should play this one next Monday. We should stream this one.
I think that would be fun.
I would love to. I haven't played it yet. Y'all can show me the ropes. Just don't
Ooh.
pick Donatello. Come on.
Donnie's cool.
Well, I'm going
man.
to pick every character but Donatello, so you have to play as the purple guy.
No.
Yeah. Splinter's cool. They divvy up the stats for like speed and power and third thing.
Range, I think.
Yeah, speed, power, and range. And Splinter is like way into power, and like all of his other stats kind of suffer, but like it doesn't matter. So you can just use that stick and just beat the piss out of everybody who comes near him.
That's cool. That's cool.
Same with Raphael. Oh, hey, Paul, I'm assuming you played enough to hear a lot of the voice acting. It's the original cast members.
Yes.
Donatello sounds like a 60-year-old man.
He does.
See, that's another thing. Like why?
I didn't know that it was the original cast members before I started playing the game, but some of them are extremely recognizable. Like Leonardo's dude is on point, has kept up the craft enough that it sounds perfect, but some of the other ones are a little rough.
But like, it's interesting because I was listening to that and like, I think they always sounded like old men, actually. I think they got some really weird, because I got famous Saturday morning voice actors to do the Turtles. Because you hear these guys all over that programming block for like the decade before and after that show came out. And it's like, they're everywhere. They're so famous. That's probably why they're voicing the Turtles. But it's like, they always sort of sounded like old men.
I guess that's true.
Very weird in retrospect. It was like, why? Like Mikey sounded like kind of like a teenager, but Donnie and Leo, no, those are middle-aged men. Those are middle-aged men fighting ninja robots. It's so weird.
I mean, the best thing about this game is that they really nailed the fighting ninja robots part of it. You know, the core thing that you do all the time, which is kicking the shit out of foot soldiers, feels amazing. And it never, ever gets old. You just plow through legions of these guys, and there's just enough variety in the moves you can do and you know how you can positionally play the game, because it is a little more skill based than I thought it would be.
Oh, hell yeah.
In terms of how you have to position yourself, it's not specifically like a quarter reading kind of game where you're gonna die. You can get through levels without A, dying, or B, getting hit. Some of the challenges in levels are complete this level unharmed. So it is possible.
Yeah, I don't even know if I could do that in the first stage. Like, because like,
you'd have to learn it pretty well.
Oh yeah, you'd have to memorize it, which would be fun, you know.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep playing it. It's on Game Pass, by the way.
Yeah.
Best game they've put on Game Pass in quite some time, I would say. That's probably not true.
Yeah. So, couple of more Switch games. From the Switch guy. First off, let's talk about Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes. This is a full meal deal, meaty ass Fire Emblem game, complete with like the relationship building mechanics, all the like character customization, the rich, complicated story that plays out very differently depending on which house you align yourself with. The story itself sets a fucking crackling pace because like it's all the same characters from 3 houses, but you spend I'm gonna say like 45 minutes of gameplay time at the school at the most. You're just like, you dip in, you're like, hey, I'm gonna be a student here, and then it's just like almost fucking immediately, like 2 missions later, you're all, well, no, we're doing that, we're getting out of there, we're doing a time jump, we're going right to the war, right to the good bits.
Yeah, here's 50,000 enemy soldiers we need you to just plow through.
It's pretty fucking fun, to be honest. It's interesting because like the permadeath mechanic is still there if you play it in classic mode.
Oh,
Yeah, but
interesting.
unlike in like the turn-based strategy RPG style, where like you would just send somebody out to do a move and then maybe it killed them, you can like take control of that character in an action setting, and then just like sort of like daintily dance out of the way of moves so they don't fucking die, and you hold on to them. And like if you power up a character enough, kind of doesn't matter if they're like type misaligned, you know, because it's like that rock paper scissors shit. So you just like, oh no, she's super bad against axes because she has this weapon. You're like, I don't care. I don't care. There's a dodge mechanic. You can just move around their attacks. They telegraph them. You just get behind them, beat the shit out of them. They turn around. You do it again. You build up a special move. You use that special move. You build up the secondaries. The stun lock special. You use that one. It's fine. It's fine. You can do it. Also, you can like give people orders and just send them out to places. So you can like tackle 5 separate objectives at the same time. So if it's like you need to protect these 4 or 5 people from getting like killed, like you have to defend all these positions, you can send your guys out and they'll fucking do it. As long as the like the type matchup is right, they're good to go. It's smart AI. They can figure it out. Yeah. If you want more Fire Emblem, holy shit, is this ever more Fire Emblem? Like this is it. This is what you're waiting for.
I never finished Three Houses. There was just that was one of those years where so many different things came out that there was just something had to go on the back burner. I just never went back to it.
Didn't finish even one storyline. One of the 3. So I mean, you got to play all 3.
Yeah, I was close to the end of the one where God,
Edelgard.
black and red one.
Edelgard.
Yeah.
That's
the one where like halfway through I was like, oh shit, we're the bad guys, I think.
Yeah.
See, I went Blue House. I went Dimitri, and man, that's a dark story. But you make no mistake, like the Blue Lions are the good guys. Yeah, it's fucking dark, but they're the good guys.
I played the gold boys.
Ah, interesting.
In Three
Yeah,
Houses.
exactly.
Yes. But that to me felt like the most
Hufflepuffy of the crew.
It's the most protagonists. They're the like the ragtag fucking underdogs. So like they're the best favorite protagonists. But for Three Hopes, I went Edelgard, and boy oh boy, do you go full Empire mode real fast.
I bet.
Nice.
Special shout out to whoever decided to carry over your Byleth's name from Three Houses to Three Hopes.
Yeah.
Because I played as myself in Three Houses. So and I've only played the demo, but when I first come across Byleth and they're like, oh, look out, Rhett's coming. I was like, oh shit. This is great.
It's awesome.
Nice. Is that one out or soon to be out?
I think it should be by now. Yeah, it came out on the 24th, I think. Yeah, no, it was a good. It came out. It's great. If you want more Fire Emblem, it's fucking awesome.
Man, there's like 36 different things I need to go download on my Switch.
Yeah.
Demos at least.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, Live Alive. They got a demo there. Definitely check that out.
I will do.
Yeah.
James, we're down to the last.
Yeah.
At best? Do we save the best for last?
So far pretty surprising. I have a complicated relationship with Xenoblade Chronicles. I want to like these games. They have all the components in place for me to like them. You know, all the ingredients seem like things I would enjoy. But at least for Xenoblade Chronicles 2, the pacing was so fucked that it put me off trying 1 or Xenoblade Chronicles X. So the call came to review 3, and I was like pretty apprehensive. But so far, I'm not that far into it. But so far, paced way better. Pacing is so much
That's
better.
good.
Because like the story like feels like it's getting in gear a lot faster. Like that was the thing I hated about 2, where it was just like 35 hours later, like, all right, now we can start. I'm like, no, fuck off. And this one, it's like, it hardly took any time. And you're like, oh, okay, here's the stakes. Here's what's been established. Here's what's going on. Because it's like, it's a setting about two nations forever at war. And so immediately the stakes are relatable. And there's like an emotional resonance. And there's a sort of power and weight to events that I feel like was missing from previous games. Because like the previous titles were they were trying to lean too hard on like the epic fantasy tropes where it's like eventually you and your ragtag team of misfit teenagers are going to get the sword that kills God, but until then it feels very unfocused. Whereas Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is like right from the jump, you're like, these are stakes that you can understand and you can empathize with, and that they feel powerful. And so like this has been a huge improvement over the previous game for me, right from the jump. And they give you a taste of that good mech business pretty early on. You're like,
Nice.
oh hell yeah, this is a power I'm gonna have later. It's gonna whip ass. But here's the sneak preview for now. And it's just like, and they're really good at setting it up because like combat moves at a particular pace. It's a little bit slow, but it's to get you used to the many systems that they put in place. And so you're used to things moving at a certain speed, and then they give you this fucking fusion mech power, and all of a sudden you're like, special move, special move, special move, special move, just like one after the other, just like relentless. And you do like the super special, and it does like 5 times as much damage as like anything you've ever done under any circumstances up to this point. So you're like, you get a taste for it, you're like, oh fuck yeah, I want to keep playing till I get back to that point where I can do this again. And you know what's gonna happen in the future because of the way the story's laid out, but like not just yet, but soon. So you get that like sense of anticipation, and that also helps get you into the story. I should mention Xenoblade Chronicles uses a very specific type of English voice acting where everybody has some variety of British accent. I can't really fuck with it. They're decent. The written script, the dialogue is like tailored to those accents. So it fits better, but I just like the sound of Japanese more. So after like an hour I switched to that. And there's something about the like slow measured pace or like the weird pace that they have to set the dialogue at in order to match the Japanese that just sounds extremely fucking weird to me with a British accent, and I just can't get past it. But like I have my best friend loves those games so much and has like no problem with the English voice acting. So like there's probably a bunch of people out there who like love that shit. And good for you guys. I'm very happy for you. But like yeah.
I'm looking at some screenshots here, and what's jumping out at me is there's a lot of UI. Like in battle, there's a
yeah.
fuck ton going on.
If you want to understand what the fuck is happening with Xenoblade Chronicles, basically it's the design inspiration is an MMO, but it's a single player experience. Kind of like Dot Hack, where like you have like a team of people and they all have different roles. You have a tank, you have a healer, you have offense, and all your good abilities are on cooldowns, but you just automatically attack otherwise. Like once you understand that this is basically just an MMO in single player mode, all of the UI shit kind of makes sense. And it is something I still find pretty exhausting where they have like a huge amount of systems they like cram down your throat just to make sure that you're kept busy enough so that you're never like bored. But it's like, you could just make the combat compelling instead of complicated. You don't have to do this. A lot of the stuff they're like, here, do this and press this button. It's like, this could be autonomic. Like we don't need to participate in this part of the system, you know? Like when you upgrade equipment, there's not like a lot of branching trees where you're like, oh, if I choose this or this, it's going to make a big deal. It's just like, no, you just have to put in the work to power yourself up. It's just, you just have to do the labor. There's no tough decisions to make or like different builds you have to fuck with. My understanding from like the Nintendo Direct that they did is that you can like change the classes of all your characters. You have some freedom that way. But like the vanilla setup that they give you with your whole party works perfectly. Like you really don't need to fuck with it. Like you might have to way later in the game, but so far you can just leave things as is and it's fine. But combat has a sort of rhythm that once you figure it out, it feels a lot less frustrating. Because like you can do this thing where you like break, topple, daze, and every party member does one of those. And if you do that in order, then you do like a fuckload more damage. So you just find that rhythm with your party, and you can basically command them, but like, no, we need you to make sure that we're doing combos all the time. And then the AI teammates will just be like, all right, cool. So one of them, will, whenever they can, will start it, and then you just do your part in the chain. And then, like, once I figured that out after a couple hours, I was like, oh, combat makes so much more sense. Because like for a while, I was getting my shit pushed in, but like all sorts of enemies out in the field was like, this sucks and getting my ass kicked. I don't understand why. But then you
shit pushed in.
I know, a little vulgar, but it gets the message across.
That's good.
But once I figured out that rhythm, it clicked and it made sense. I was like, oh, okay. So just to make sure that we're all playing our parts within the battle, and it goes so much better. It's fascinating.
Okay, that one comes out like end of the month, right?
Yes, Live Alive comes out July 26th, I think, or July 21st. And then like yeah, Live Alive comes out July 21st or 22nd or something. And then Xenoblade Chronicles 3 comes out on the 29th.
Okay. A lot of Switch action.
Yeah, I'm the Switch guy. So.
Live Alive comes out September 2nd, 1994. That's what I got from my Google search.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Not
no, I hear
wrong.
you.
No, July 22nd.
Well, perfect.
Okay.
Seems like we played some games.
We sure fucking have.
But what we haven't done in forever is talked about things that are happening and new games that are coming out. And in the meantime, all of not E3 happened. There are probably some things to talk about.
Yeah. So here's my first thought that I had watching all of the prezzies. Scary times in space seem to be the big theme this year. It's like there's a lot of Dead Space clones coming out.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how that came about, but there's like at least 4. There's like Fort Solis. There's the Calliope whatever one.
Callisto Protocol.
Callisto Protocol, Fort Solis. There's the one with the robots. There's
But you're gonna have to be a little more specific than the one with the robots.
I know, I can't fucking remember the name because there's too many scary times in space games. There's the one made by the Blizzard devs that's like a real-time strategy one that they showed no gameplay for. That's like, remember when StarCraft was cool? We're gonna make a StarCraft, but the trailer is very spooky, or like very tense. And yeah, so scary times in space, and that was a big theme. I to my great shame, I didn't watch the wholesome direct, and I saw somebody do like a 40-second blow by blow, and I was like, oh fuck, there's a lot of sick games on that one. Always, if you haven't, you should do what I'm gonna do and catch up on it. I think I'm gonna find the stream and watch the whole thing, because there's always like some amazing fucking trailers in there. And like in my old age, I prefer a game that's a little chill and takes its time, you know. I'm
Mm.
more of a Stardew Valley, less of a Call of Duty kind of guy, you know.
Money. Yep. Money. I'm with you there. I always will argue that the best things about, especially like multiplayer online, massive multiplayer online games these days, to me, the best thing is the downtime. I'll never get over the novelty of getting into my apartment in GTA 5 with a few friends and sitting down around the bong and each taking a hit from it. I will never I'll never get over that novelty. I'll never get over the novelty of somebody walking over to the bar and changing the radio as they get a drink. That's the kind of shit that I'm just like, man, these devs know what makes something good, you know? It's the little things.
You're absolutely right. Like James, when you were talking about Cult of the Lamb, the thing that stood out to me is, hey, you're gonna build your town and have your little cult followers and do stuff there. And if you don't want to go out in the roguelike death machine today, you don't have to.
That's
I
right.
love that stuff.
Yeah.
That's why why Stardew Valley is so successful, because it's all that.
Right.
Yeah, I saw I saw it was on Game Pass, and I just fired it up for a minute, and I think I just got to my first fall season. Especially now that I can play it on my
sweet summer
fucking
child.
phone. It's just like, oh, I have no hope. I've played that game to completion, meaning like the community center was rebuilt like at least twice, and probably gonna do it a third time on the Xbox.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so what else happened in the world of video games? Oh, here's a fun thing that I thought was like really goofy and dumb and really weirdly tone deaf and really reminiscent of like the old presentations in the old E3 is the fucking Rock showing up during Jeff Fest 2022. And
Jeff Fest.
yeah, he shows up during
Yeah.
Jeff Fest to promote an energy drink and talk about the trailer for his movie. And it was like, all right, have fun with their games, guys. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, muscle grandpa, what was that?
Hey, that's
Who
The
are you?
Rock. Easy. That's Dwayne Johnson you're talking about. Easy.
Okay,
You're talking
but, like,
about the next president of the United States.
Exactly.
Never
like,
have
show
I
some
seen
respect.
never have I seen a fucking guest presenter be so like callously
touch?
out of touch with what was going on. Like he spent the entire time talking about this fucking energy drink he has out. And I'm like,
I'm sure
what are you doing?
he probably threw a shout out to Terramana as well, I would imagine. And you know, he probably gave the WWE a shout out. Yeah, XFL definitely gave the XFL a shout out. That's a good call.
I
Yeah.
will say that the Rock's energy drink is pretty damn good.
Is
Okay.
it?
Yeah.
Like
I would probably take it over, maybe not over a Red Bull, but I'd take it over a Monster for sure.
Oh, okay. Monster's pretty good.
Yeah,
You know,
I was surprised. They got some.
They got a
some,
sweetness to them.
mana flavors. You got pineapple, coconut, and stuff like that.
That's the big thing. That's where Monster falls off. You know, the original is the best.
Yeah.
Any all the other flavors, garbage. Same with Red Bull. You know, I appreciate that original bite that you get from them Red Bulls.
Cough syrup flavor.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what I need to wake me up. You know,
I want it to taste like something I cooked up in my kitchen from ingredients that nobody should put together.
Yes, exactly.
I want to drink it and say, "Ooh, that's bad for me."
Yeah, that's bad.
Yeah.
I know. Whoa, it's like a smelling salt. I can't be having something that's a fucking, you know, pomegranate, acai, pineapple, fucking put you right back to bed kind of beverage. No, I need you.
Yeah. I need an energy drink to taste somehow like cigarettes. But not
yes. Cigarettes. The dash of coffee.
Like cigarettes and coffee, but like put through a fucking liquefier or something. Like a French press. Like cigarettes and coffee through a French press. Right. With just like a hint of lime. You know? Just like
just a squeeze, yeah. No, I agree. completely.
So
Trying
he
to
did
trying to
that.
remember what the fuck we were talking about.
I was talking about that because he shows up during Jeff Fest and he was just like such a weird like smash the brakes.
Sorry, wait. Can we back up again? What is Jeff Fest?
Summer
That's
Games
Jeff
Fest.
Keighley's Summer Games
Oh,
Fest.
it's
Where
Jeff.
he does this 90-minute thing, right?
Jeff Fest. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Right.
Yeah. So it was just like such a weird like it's like slamming the brakes to let The Rock talk about his shit, and you just watch the trailer for Black Adam, which looks cool. Don't get me wrong. It was
I
very
mean,
weird.
We're
having
really
The Rock
scraping
on
the
there
bottom.
probably paid for the whole thing.
Guaranteed.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
There's a bunch of cool games. Oh, Square Enix did a Final Fantasy VII presentation where they talked about Final Fantasy VII for a while, and they showed the first trailer for the second chapter of the remake, which okay, you remember when we talked a couple years ago about how like, oh, the story could go in any which direction, they could be just blowing this wide open. Turns out, yeah, that seems like it's what they're doing. They're gonna they definitely chose moments of dialogue for the trailer that made it seem like this thing could go fucking anywhere. And I remember there's one line, I think it was from Aerith, where it was like, what do you mean? So I'm dead? So I'm supposed to be dead? And you're just like, okay. Okay.
This could
Okay,
go
we're
in
doing this.
It could go in so many directions, and some of them will be good, but like my takeaway from that, the name of like Rebirth, is that the first game they didn't mean we're remaking Final Fantasy VII. It's like Final Fantasy VII subtitle remake, and this one's Rebirth. The last one will probably be Reunion.
Oh,
Yeah.
buddy, I think you're right. I think that will be the fucking title of the third game.
You know,
Yeah.
Hell yes.
We'll come back to that if that turns out to be the case. But like, I think they're going to spend this middle chapter doing some of the stuff that's in Final Fantasy VII, like go to Cosmo Canyon, go to here and there and check out some stuff. And then in the last one, they're going to realize that things need to be the old way in order for things to work out, and it'll be about that.
Yeah, maybe like fixing the timeline. Maybe they don't kill the person in question and it fucks everything up.
Oh yeah.
I think there's also like there's got to be some kind of metaverse thing going on, because there's scenes with Cloud and Zack, and I don't know if you've played any of the other Final Fantasy VII adjacent games. There's reasons that shouldn't be the case.
Yeah, those two are never meant to meet. It's like meeting. It's basically it's a time traveler's paradox where you are meeting yourself.
Mhm.
You don't do that. You unravel the fabric of reality by doing it.
Well,
if they're
good news.
Smart, they'll lean on that.
Yeah. So it could go some cool ways. I hope it's great.
Yeah.
What else? Starfield? Anybody?
Sorry, did you mean No Man's Sky by Bethesda?
Yeah.
I did.
That fucking gameplay reveal where it's like, oh, here's the ship and you're landing on the planet and you're scanning something.
Hey, but
and
why
you're
did
using-
anyone think it was going to be anything different?
I don't know, man, because No Man's Sky was a slow boiling stew of fucking sadness and suffering. It took 5 goddamn years for that game to get to a place where people were willing to recommend it to their friends. Why in the fuck would you choose to emulate that particular game?
No, but what I'm saying is that like to me it looked like Fallout in space. It looked like Skyrim in space. And so that's what I'm saying is why expect anything different? Yeah, the scanning, sure. I mean, we'll see what happens there. But I mean, realistically, it just looks like a Bethesda game in space.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play it. It doesn't look
Oh, yeah.
revolutionary, but it looks like it could be
Oh,
another
man.
great Bethesda game.
I love
Like-
Oblivion, or I love Elder Scrolls. I love Fallout. Of course, I'll play Starfield.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think the key there is like they're giving you the option. You can do a No Man's Sky thing and go around to their thousands of planets that are all procedurally generated, and there's probably little to nothing there, just like in No Man's Sky, and you can build stuff. Or you can follow the very curated several planets or whatever it is that are handmade and full of all the NPCs and quest givers and all the things you would expect from a Bethesda game. Whether that all comes together in a way that makes sense and makes you want to do bits and pieces of both, questionable.
Yeah.
I just had a thought that had not occurred to me previously. I think if you can wander off to random planets and in doing so turn into a sort of overpowered demigod and come back to the main story, 10 out of 10, boys. I'll game of the year this shit. I don't even care. Like,
That's
if I could just wander off to planet 374, do a bunch of quests, come back to the main line, and be like, oh, while I was out, I found this gun that like kills God, and I have like 700 bullets for it. So what now, fuckers? Like, if I can break the game, then like, oh, yes, pure winning right there. Thanks.
I'm waiting for the inevitable crossover content that lets you get a BFG.
Oh, nice. Maybe
Hell
The
yeah.
Rock. Maybe Dwayne
Gotta
Johnson
happen,
can
right?
show up and fucking.
I don't think my fantasies will come true though, because a lot of the footage they've shown is very grounded. Although there was some like future city footage where it looked like kind of cyberpunky, where it was all neon and shit, and you're like, that to me says this is a big time fantasy game. And I really want, even if it's more Fallout than it is Elder Scrolls, I still want the ability to like max things out and like turn into a tank and a killing machine and just like, you know, really mess with the intended order of things, like that to me is the fun part of RPGs, where you can not so much cheat but like do some manual labor and like circumvent their like difficulty scaling. That, if I can do that with Starfield, fucking hell yeah, man. I'll put that on my top 10 list for fucking sure.
I'm sure you can. Like a little less in the way that you can in an Elder Scrolls game. Like the most recent Fallout games, you can break them. It's just about picking the right perks and stacking all the bonuses on top of one another versus having mountains of health and just doing 10,000 damage when you swing a hammer. You can do that too, but you'd have to pick the right perks. So I'm sure that will be the case. It looked like it was a pretty robust growth system for the character. We'll see.
Sick.
I love flying a ship around in space, so.
Oh yeah,
exactly.
I hope the ship combat doesn't suck.
Oh,
Buddy.
it
might.
It probably will.
Is this a Bethesda game with the new engine? Because I heard on the wire that they were finally ditching that busted shit they've been using for a decade.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I haven't heard that. I mean, it looked.
Maybe they are for Elder Scrolls 6.
Yeah, but for this, I mean, it looked a little bit nicer, but I mean, it still looked like.
Well, in that case, I have terrible news about the ship combat.
It's based on riding a horse in Skyrim. So
you can like look into the fucking like the code, and you're just like you scroll, zoom back, and you see like an actual like horse body made invisible, like attached to the bottom of the ship.
yeah, the ship is actually it's a human character. They're just wearing the ship as a hat.
Yes.
They actually did that in Fallout New Vegas because they couldn't program the monorail. So it's a guy with a hat on.
Yeah. So good.
Yeah. But again, like we were talking about earlier, if they do a really good job of building out like the concept of this is the ship and here's your crew. You can build out your crew with a variety of different, either named NPCs or random people. That could be pretty cool. See myself playing that for quite a while.
Yeah.
Yep.
I cannot really see myself playing Redfall.
It's fair.
That looks like the most generic shooting experience.
I don't even remember. I don't even remember what this was. Redfall?
It's Vampire Left 4 Dead.
Yeah.
See ya.
Yeah.
They said it's narrative driven, but it looks just like so twitchy and that's the kind of game I don't want to play.
It's one of those things where I will not give a shit about it until it comes out. And then if word of mouth and user reviews paint a different picture, then I might look into it. But like so far what they're showing us is, do you remember Left 4 Dead? Well, we took away all the janky shit that made it cool, and we're just going to give you a slick, smooth, edgeless package that fucking doesn't challenge you in any way. And it's just like, here's some vampire powers. It's like you're playing Overwatch, but it's dark all the time. So, like, I don't give a shit.
A big piece of me hopes that they're doing the thing that they most recently did with Deathloop and just mismarketing the shit out of it. I didn't want to play Deathloop either, and that game's awesome.
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, I don't know.
It's true. When they first showed off Deathloop, I was like,
nope. Pass.
Nope,
skip.
yeah, right. Hard pass. Nope. But then it came out, and sure enough, people were like, man, this is game of the year.
Pretty close, some would say.
Yeah.
Some would say pretty close.
Yeah.
Those are the only two things that really stood out for me at the Xbox showcase. I expected a lot more out of them.
Yeah, Xbox I was pretty lukewarm on.
They really should have given some sort of update on that Kojima game, whatever they got cooking up.
The Kojima game, Hellblade, those other Obsidian games.
Yeah.
They showed Pentiment.
Yeah.
They showed more
Looks
Diablo
cool,
4.
Oh, yeah. That looks like they're doing like a Destiny style thing where like it's like they're expanding on the persistently online element of it so that you can just sort of like join with a bunch of players randomly to take down some big event boss, and it's like, okay, I guess
$50 says that was not a feature of Diablo 4 until Sony bought Bungie.
Yeah.
They're like, what game could we shoehorn this seasonal content into? Aha! Blizzard. What do you think, guys?
Yeah,
it's a good bet. That's a good bet. Give me 3-1 odds. I'll take that because I think that's a pretty good bet.
I had something like expectations for Diablo 4 until we saw Overwatch 2. And that to me painted a pretty clear picture of what to expect from D4. Because Overwatch 2 is like, it's like the difference between a 2022 Mazda and a 2020 Mazda. Like, there's differences. It's still just the same reasonably reliable car. Like, I don't give a shit. I don't need to upgrade. You know what I mean? Like that's the sort of fucking changes they're looking to make. And it feels like that's what they're going to do between D3 and D4. And brother, let me tell you, I have put conservatively 500 fucking hours into Diablo 3. I do not need a shined up next gen version of that same goddamn experience. Because what'll happen is I'll buy it. It's probably going to be on Game Pass, or I'll play it right for a while. I'll like get a character to 60 or 70 or whatever the level cap is, and I'll put like, I don't know, 10 or 15 hours into it, and I'm like, okay, I played this a lot previously in 2014. I don't need this. You know what I mean? Like I just
Yeah.
I want to be surprised. I want to be impressed. I want them to blow me away. But honestly, the company that Blizzard has become is not capable of doing that.
Hmm. That's my big fear with Xbox game studios in general, is that they're just becoming this monolith of potential that never puts anything out. They didn't show Perfect Dark. They didn't show Forza Motorsport. They didn't show
They
like
showed Forza.
anything.
They showed Forza
Yeah, show
Motorsport.
Forza. Yeah.
Did
It
they?
was very
Yeah.
boring. It was
In
not
the
an interesting
showcase?
part of yes, it was not an interesting part of the presentation to watch. They
Wow.
talked about like weather effects and like how it looks like it's like you could change it so it's like raining to sunny. Look how detailed the sides of the track are. I was like, I don't give a
That
shit about that.
they gave a release date though, didn't they? Early
Did they?
next year. I
Yeah.
thought
Well,
they.
they give a window.
A window. Okay.
Yeah, which is all you can really do these days, and that's fine.
Yeah. Fair.
But yeah, they show you would be forgiven for forgetting that Forza Motorsport was part of the presentation because it was very, very boring.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not in any of the like wrap up articles I looked at. I didn't watch it because I was on a different continent.
Yeah,
But
that's fair.
They did
uh,
too well with Forza 5, and they like there's too many people that are too invested now in Horizon 5. They don't care about motorsport.
like I at this point,
Man, it's
Xbox has to know what's being asked of them. They
yeah.
have to know what fans are looking for. They're looking for what they did with Starfield. Give us some gameplay. Don't cut it all up. Just show us what the game is. That's what they wanted out of. That's what I would have wanted out of Forza Motorsport. It's what I want to see of Perfect Dark. It's what I want to see out of what Rare is doing.
Yep.
None of those things even hit the radar. How can that be? Nothing is getting done? Nothing is progressing? Come on.
Well, here's what I think happened. I think that the efforts to make Halo Infinite what they wanted to be took a lot more manpower than they let on. I think
Good point.
everybody who was anybody was fucking working on that game for a time. And I think, and I mean like every fucking studio, which is why I think that a lot of stuff was pushed back or pushed to the back burner. And I think what they want to do, Xbox in particular, is they don't want to show shit until they have gameplay anymore. Right. So, like, if they don't
Yeah.
have good, reliable, solid footage of what it looks like, they're very hesitant to show it off. Like, Redfall had gameplay footage, Starfield had gameplay footage, Forza did technically have gameplay footage, though, again, really kind of boring. I don't know. It looked great if that's the sort
It's,
of thing you're
it-
into.
it's kind of a boring game.
Yeah, it plays great. It doesn't look interesting.
Yes.
That's the trick.
Yeah.
But like they I think Xbox and a lot of companies are like, well, no, we know what the rule is, and the rule is no game, no hype. So if you just show me a fucking pre-rendered trailer, I don't care. I don't care. I want to see actual gameplay. Like when they did the Callisto Protocol, they showed off like actual in-engine like kills and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, that's fucking sick. That looks good as hell.
Mhm.
You know, it's not my kind of game, but I can appreciate how fucking rad it looks, like in motion, and like the aliens game that they showed off, more or less no gameplay, didn't give a shit. So like, I think if Xbox isn't showing these things, is because they want to make sure that there's actual tangible gameplay footage that they can present to people to generate the hype they want. Because gamers are pretty fucking slick, and they're not wowed anymore by a fucking cutscene trailer, you know?
Yeah. That's a good point. I guess a good call on Halo.
Yeah.
I bet there are a lot of questions about the return on investment there.
Yeah.
But
I don't know, like, regardless of what we thought of it critically, I don't know what the player base is like, which I think is kind of the most important thing. Although my understanding is that the new season kind of fizzled.
Yes, that is what I heard as well. I'm just trying to look up a player count. But yeah, it sounds like people jumped into the new season, I guess, for a bit, but immediately bailed out as soon as Master Chief Collection got its latest update and fixed things. They're like, I'd rather play old Halo. Yeah, makes
Yeah.
sense. Oof, about 5,000 people playing. 24-hour peak 5,700 on Steam.
Okay.
All-time peak was 250,000.
Okay. Those aren't Xbox numbers, but that's something.
Yeah, it went up 20% in May and went down 33% in June.
Okay.
But month over month, it's been losing like 50% since December. Every month. Mm-mm. But hey,
Brutal numbers. Absolutely brutal.
not great. But yeah, I don't know. Did anything else stand out at that entire showcase for you guys?
Xbox, I kind of let wash over me a little bit
Mhm.
because it's like now that I'm in the clan, now that I'm like part of the crew, I can just sort of look forward to this shit because basically everything they showed for the Xbox showcase was coming to Game Pass.
Yeah, exactly.
There's that one American Arcadia, I think, that like it's like the Truman Show or like some sort of 24-hour thing that people like watching people in this like crazy simulation and then like somebody tries to escape. That looks cool.
Mm.
Um
And that's not to say that Sony had an outstanding showing either. Like they didn't
fuck
show
no.
any of their stuff.
Yeah.
But anyway, more stuff from like the rest of this not E3 season. One game that really caught my attention was Witchfire.
Oh yeah.
That looks so cool. It's like a weird combination of kind of antique guns and magic. Magic? Looks pretty rad. No
Basically,
idea who these people are that are making it, but it looks like they're doing a pretty damn decent job.
they've been doing it for like several years, I think. We've been waiting for a release date in this one for a while.
Bro, it's the astronauts. As if you don't know the astronauts.
Oh yeah.
They
Neil
made
Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin.
Yeah. They got a LinkedIn. No. This does look good though. This does look smooth. Evil succumbs to a distressingly light hail of bullets
Huh?
in new
Okay.
Witchfire footage. Yeah.
Yeah.
So here you
Yeah.
go.
Kind of
That one
reminds me of
looks
like
good.
Texan.
New Cuphead DLC.
Yeah.
There you go.
I was
Sexy.
pleased to see they added a lady teacup.
Yeah.
That's fun. Cuphead, Mugman. I don't know what her name is.
No, it doesn't matter. We got the new DLC, very, very nice though. Very, very nice. A lot of more of the same hand drawn, beautiful art. Perfect to play with a friend. Multiplayer runs great on Switch. Can't miss it.
I can't wait to see what they do next, that studio, because I feel like it's going to be a drastic departure.
Well, isn't it just the two guys?
I think it was.
Yeah.
I can't imagine it's still that small.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I don't know because like it feels like so much of their efforts are like custom built for this very specific niche of gaming. Like all the animation is done like hand drawn frame by frame. All the music is played live. Like everything about it is just extremely specifically a combination of like retro artistic sensibilities and like
Torture.
torturous gameplay.
Mhm.
And like I don't know where else you can direct that kind of energy when it comes to making games. I just like I literally can't envision where they're going to go next, because it feels like, I don't know, if I was those guys, I'd have like serious tunnel vision, you know, like about like what I was like into, what I was good at, where my focus was, what felt fulfilling. You know what I mean? Like trying to branch out would just feel so fucking daunting.
I think they take Cuphead. What they should do, they take Cuphead and they make a Paper Mario-esque style of game.
I was going to say that's one option. You know, something that uses the same assets and art style in some way and make something different out of that universe.
Yeah.
But a big part of me thinks they should leave it alone.
But I mean,
as
no,
something
but
that's
no,
basically
because
perfect.
with them having a Netflix show, this has become a bigger
Mm.
property than just a little fucking indie game.
Good
So
point.
I think you continue to grow it. And I will say, actually, I've watched a bit of the Netflix show. It is a lot better than I thought it would have been.
Really?
It's much more palatable as an adult than I ever would have thought it would have been. I actually recommend it. You know, if you like that universe, and you know you don't mind getting a little silly, I recommend it.
I'd love
They're
to get
only
a little
like
silly.
Man, they're only like 11, 12-minute episodes. It's not difficult to commit to, you know. Check a couple out and tell me that you weren't, you know, smiling here and there. Maybe even giving yourself a little chuckle here and there through those first couple episodes.
A nice sensible chuckle.
Yes, you know. I would bet that you will experience said chuckle. Sorry,
So
James.
I was gonna say there's some games that I thought looked interesting or looked like, you know, I want to learn more about them. Street Fighter 6, we saw a bunch of that I'm like
Yep.
super curious about. The art style is a lot more palatable as far as the use of that word goes. Um, the Marvel's Midnight Suns looks, I don't know, it looks cool, kinda. Like the story looks cheesy as hell, but that's fine. It's a comic book game. They're supposed to be kind of silly, you know.
Completely missed this one. What kind
The
of game is it?
roster, man, it's the one thing that's killing me with this is the roster. There's like 12 playable heroes at launch or something like that.
Yeah.
And I just look at, like, you know, Marvel Ultimate Alliance, the first one, second
Well,
one, where
fucking
fucking
first of all, Red, it's not like a fighting game. It's like an XCOM game,
yeah,
basically.
I know. And they're why isn't the
Oh.
roster fucking 30, 40 heroes deep at launch?
So they can launch a complete game before 2024?
There's no way that they release 12 heroes by 2024. There's no way. The game's not going to have half the amount of heroes that a Marvel Ultimate Alliance has by 2024.
It's possible they're going for gameplay complexity and story over a massive amount of characters.
Yeah, but that's why you would buy a Marvel game. Who wants to fucking buy another Avengers? Who wants to buy another fucking bullshit, you know, play as 10 heroes? Man, give me a complete roster.
Well, for one thing, it's not just an XCOM style game. It's made by Firaxis. So, like, there's a certain level of quality to be expected, you know, where it's just like,
Hey, but you were just saying that it looks okay?
well, I don't play those kinds of games, dude. I don't give a shit about turn-based strategy games.
Well, I mean,
But I can still
well, there you
recognize
go.
objectively that, hey, maybe this turn-based strategy game, a genre which I have no particular investment in, could be interesting.
Dude, we were just talking about Fire Emblem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that's a
That's a completely different universe.
offshoot.
Marvel has a fucking history of 70 years to go back and fucking build a roster through.
but
Yeah. Also, in my
Fire
in my
Emblem is a
experience,
turn-based strategy.
XCOM and Fire Emblem are so far apart. It's like they're
Yeah.
both vegetables, but like that's kind of the only thing they have in common. You know what I mean? Like
Fire Emblem has substantially less bullshit than XCOM games,
Hmm.
where an
Okay.
89% chance to hit could damn well equal 0.
So what you're saying is Fire Emblem
Yeah.
is the robust, versatile potato, whereas XCOM is kind of like the I'm gonna say parsnip.
I think that's being kind, but
I don't know, man. I've eaten parsnips. I think it's pretty accurate.
a little nondescript. Yeah, I don't know. This looks okay. My concern is that it'll be too much like XCOM, because in that case, I think Rhett's point is very valid. If there's not a big enough roster and it's like XCOM where the story is very boilerplate and there's not a whole lot going on, that's a problem for me. But if these 12 heroes have some elaborate involvement in the story, or the heroes that you pick to go on missions affects the story in certain ways, I could see that being more effective.
12 different storylines.
Yeah, like pick your main
Yeah.
hero and then the side
Okay.
pieces.
Okay.
I don't know. That seems like it could be a bit complicated, but that's what I would want.
Yeah.
Just
That's fair.
with the Marvel Cinematic Universe in the state that it's in, you kind of expect a level of character development and involvement in any Marvel property.
Mm.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Anything else? The Last of Us remake? Sure.
Yeah, they should have just done this instead of making Last of Us 2. That's all I'll say.
You're still
Oh.
on your shit, eh?
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to that Last of Us multiplayer game that they're going to be dropping that should have been included with Last of Us 2. That's another reason why that game wasn't as good as it should have been. That multiplayer mode absolutely should have been a part of that game, but it's not. It's going to be a standalone game because what's his name? Druckmann. He wants to milk this shit for all it's worth. And yeah, the multiplayer game does look good though.
I think that's a very small piece of the puzzle. Like, if the multiplayer game isn't done by now,
yeah, exactly.
There's no way they were including it in anything else.
No, but that's what I'm saying. It was ready to go back when they released Last of Us 2. But Druckmann was just like, let's fucking milk these motherfuckers for all they're worth.
I'm gonna need to see some receipts. I'll need to see some sources on this.
No,
and
I
sources that do
confirm.
not include Reddit
No, I can confirm. Just trust me. Just
well, let's hope that they're being honest and that the multiplayer thing is that much bigger than it has been in the past. Like, he was saying something about it being like having a narrative or having some kind of story driven elements. That would be good.
he was saying it was actually like going to be like another Last of Us game, essentially.
Yeah.
So I got to assume it's going to be more than just, Team A versus Team B, like the first one
Uncharted
was.
Multiplayer. Yeah.
But the first one, like, it really was cool. What they were trying to do, like, I think that the ideas of like surviving the amount of days and everything, they weren't fully realized, and they, I don't think that they landed quite the way that they wanted them to, but there was a lot of cool shit going on there, and I mean, they're great developers, and I'll always argue that the gameplay itself is fantastic. So that's really what helped the first multiplayer, and I think that that's what will help the second multiplayer game that they make, is just the fucking the going from A to B is incredible with these games, and yeah, we'll see more of that in this new game coming out.
Side note, the HBO series, I got high hopes.
Yeah, Pedro Pascal.
Yeah,
all day long. That dude is money.
As soon as the like set photos came out and they showed him, done up in his weathered Joel look, I was like, oh yeah, believable. This could be really good.
100%.
So yeah.
The one more thing I wanted to add, as far
Yes.
as things that have been revealed, it's kind of a small thing, but I'm very curious about it. Is Capcom did a little stream and they announced that they're going to do a fucking big ass collection of all of the Mega Man Battle Network games. Now this I'm very curious about because this is a whole huge chunk of Mega Man's library that I've completely missed. Like I've never played a single fucking one of these games, and I heard a lot of people who are like, "Oh no, this is the ideal way to enjoy your Mega's Man," you know. And I for one am extremely curious as to what that whole world is all about, and I look forward to being able to take in that universe kind of all at once with like a massive ass collection of 10 games when it comes out next year. Because it's like a turn-based kind of action RPG kind of thing instead of like a punishing go fuck yourself platformer.
That's like
Cool.
weirdo isometric. Yeah. I've never played any of these games either.
I know it's just like completely fell off my radar, but like so many people are like, "Oh man, I love these games." When I was young, they fucking hey, I put hundreds of hours into Mega Man Battle Network, Rando Bando or whatever. I don't know, but yeah, it's just like I like RPGs. I like Mega Man. It feels like I should have been in on the ground floor, but I don't know, for some reason it wasn't.
Oh, apparently this collection was originally on the GBA.
Yep.
Okay. I guess that is kind of the world we live in at this point. Bringing things back, digging up the past.
Hey, this time I like it because I never played these games and I'll get a chance to. And what if they're cool? You know?
Speaking of digging up the past, man, I was in my backyard the other night and this isn't live, right?
No.
Okay, cool. So I was in my backyard digging up. No, sorry.
No?
Rhett was not.
I just shouldn't, regardless of whether or not it's live. I just shouldn't tell that story. Sorry.
We talked about this.
Yeah, I know. Sorry. Fuck.
Video games. Yes. Yeah, totally. We're all talking about video games here all the time.
Yeah.
Any parting thoughts before we bid a fond farewell to the viewers that have missed us over the last month?
Yeah, even when your neighbors think that they are... sorry.
You're always falling into old habits.
Man, fuck. It's tough out here.
Through the good times and the bad, just understand the video games will be there for you.
Yes, exactly.
So hold your head, or hold your hair back while you're vomiting into the toilet at 1 o'clock in the morning. They'll be there to point out errors made when you're filing your taxes. They'll be there to give away your eldest daughter on her wedding day.
Right, I was going to
because
say,
you
right?
weren't.
When your wife decides to leave you with the 3 kids in tow, and they get into that Ford Pinto and they drive off into the horizon, and you're left with nothing but video games, they will be there, that arm around you. It's gonna be okay.
I think you meant to say as they drive off into that Forza horizon.
The Forza horizon.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Pressing. Oh. Oh. Sorry.